to today's video. So, today's video is just going to be like a chit chat video, but I thought I'd film it vlog style while I'm at work getting the museum ready to open. So, if you don't already know, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I was diagnosed at age 4, and I am now 22. So I've been a diabetic for a while now. I don't really remember everything about being diagnosed. I kind of remember the story that my parents told me. But basically, it was somewhere around Thanksgiving. And I remember we had gone camping. And for a while, I had just been acting a little strange, my parents said. I kind of looked kind of sick. And I was just being weird. I was drinking lots of water, peeing all the time. My parents were like, oh, this is so weird. She doesn't normally do this kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. And apparently I lost some weight. My eyes looked all sunk in. I just looked unhealthy. And then my mom finally took me to the doctor because I was drinking water all the time and I ended up peeing myself several times simply because I was drinking so much water. And we went to the doctor, and they basically told my mom immediately, take her to Cook Children's Hospital. They are waiting for you. And I don't know if they told her I was a diabetic or if they just said, go to the hospital. But my mom called my dad, and we went. We went to the hospital. I spent 3 days in the hospital. I'm going to sit you down so I can do this. I was diagnosed, and my parents had to learn how to take care of me, sticking me with needles, poking my fingers, getting my blood sugars. And it was always kind of a struggle. We never could fully figure it out in a sense. Like, we're doing good. But it's just a weird thing of, you never know if you're doing it right. And that was my parents' fear, and that's my fear as an adult now. I know that I'm doing this right. But that's kind of how life went on. All right. As I was saying, so we kind of learned how to live life as we were doing it with me being a diabetic, which definitely got a little tricky when I was in school, because I wasn't always home for my parents to watch my blood sugars, so they had to trust the nurse staff, which, not hard, but hard when other staff members think that they know better than you do as the parent with your child and how to manage their disease and whatnot. So it wasn't always the best thing, but we kind of made it work. My parents always told me that I essentially was normal. I just had a few extra steps than any other kid. So they allowed me to eat pizza, pasta, olive cakes, and cookies, and things that a lot of parents to diabetics don't let their kids do. My parents always taught me that you can do anything anybody else can do. You just got to be able to take the extra precautions. So it's never been the easiest thing to manage. Being a type 1, your blood sugars don't stay in normal range very often, at least for me. And a lot of things influence your blood sugars. For me, my emotions. Oh, I need my keys. So when I'm super emotional or on my time of the month or whatever, my blood sugars are insane. So if I'm high stress, which I pretty much am all the time, my blood sugars are really high or go crazy. So it's definitely a learning curve of having to figure out how we can make everything work the way it needs to, while also me being able to actually live my life. And I went off to college. For about a year, I kind of stopped caring whether I lived or died. I didn't really watch my blood sugars. I didn't have a doctor. So I did whatever I wanted. My blood sugars pretty much stayed in the 200s all the time. And that was life for me. I didn't know any better because I reached 17 and 18 And even until 19, where I didn't care. I didn't care if I lived or died. And the one thing that changed my mind was my husband. I know, corny, but he really did. He told me, I need you to care. I need you to want to stay alive. I need you to want to take care of yourself because I want to grow old with you. And him saying that made me realize that I was being so beyond selfish, which totally is allowed. If you're a diabetic watching this and you're in that state, you are allowed to be selfish. You're allowed to say, I don't want this anymore. Even if you've been a diabetic for 2 months or 2 years or for 15 years, you're allowed to feel that way. It's not easy. So I felt incredibly selfish, and I really started to work on my blood sugars, which go in and out of being in better control. I got on the Freestyle Libre and then switched over to the Dexcom, which is what I'm on now. Went to the Omnipod 5, which is a wireless pump, and it connects with the Dexcom, and that's been helpful, but I haven't really been eating the best, and that's the next thing to tackle is eating healthier, because as an adult, your blood sugars are affected by stress. They're affected by what you eat, how you exercise. So we're working on all of that, but this is kind of just how I was diagnosed in my life with diabetes. I take you along with my life every day, and that's just life. We're figuring it out as we go. I'm not perfect, but I hope you enjoy watching this video and my channel. Stick around, see how my life goes.